Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk today. I'm Rick Probst. Hope you're having a wonderful Atlanta weekend. I know you've heard me say this before about this guest, but he is one of my favorites. And if you could just hear what we talk about before we go and the show, we're talking football, we're talking fashion, it's just crazy town because I just enjoy this guy and I believe in what he does. Gary Schneeberger from Focus on the Family. He is the assistant to the principal or president, not principal. He was,
well, sometimes he can be a principal
yeah,
for
he was
sure.
in the principal's office, no doubt, as I many, many times growing up in middle school and high school. But assistant to the president for media relations at Focus. And we're going to catch up with him on Truth Rising, the documentary where Focus and the Colson Center got together. First of all, Gary, good to see you again. You look great.
Oh, thanks. It's always good to be with you, Rick. And I'll say this, especially for other radio stations that may not be listening to this show, you're my favorite host to talk to.
Somehow I think I've heard that before from you, and that's okay. That's high. That is high praise. Let me say this: I think that you are the coolest person, and I don't care who hears it, at Focus on the Family. And I appreciate all that you've done and what you do there and coming on the show. You're always a great guest, and I look forward to many, many years to having you back. Hey, we talked with Seth Dillon, I think, right before the documentary was released
Mhm.
with Focus. He was a great guest as well. And we talked about Truth Rising, and here we are. It's been released, and I've watched it. Many folks have watched the documentary. What have you heard thus far? Kind of the general consistency. If I could speak, would be great. What have you heard the response from the documentary?
Well, I think the general consensus, there you go, is people love it. I mean, we get a report every week of comments that people leave on social media for the film. And I'm just going to read, this just came out Monday.
Okay.
So it was, these are 3 comments that just came out over the last week. First one, Truth Rising has given me and my group a challenge to live boldly in this cultural moment. After every lesson, we are so inspired to live more boldly and to press deeper into God. Through this study, we not only have a desire to study the word, but also to go boldly, unashamed, and preach the gospel no matter the cost. That's one comment. Here's
Good.
another one. It encouraged me to take a careful look at the opportunities right before me and not to live in fear. Think about that.
Yeah.
How often we can live fearing that this culture that marginalizes and criticizes Christians.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to do with this film, is to embolden people to live courageously and boldly. And here's another comment. It squarely met the cultural issues that have developed but are not addressed through faith. We often don't address these issues through faith. There is a need for prayer, thought, and energy to address these issues and move in peace to overcome. Truth Rising surely opened a lot of eyes and hearts about what is needed. That is music to our ears when we hear that kind of feedback. And this is, as you said, the movie's been out a while. We released it on September 5th.
Yeah.
So we're approaching 2 months of this movie being out, and still people are reacting this way to it. That is phenomenal for us. It's not a traditional release of a film, right? First weekend, if the movie does great, it goes, it sticks around. If it doesn't, it goes away. This has been out for 2 months now, and it's still picking up folks who have seen it. I'll just give you this number. As of us talking right now, more than 500,000 people have watched Truth Rising, and we're hoping to get that up to a full million in the next few weeks.
Let's do it. Gary Schneeberger, Focus on the Family. And if you were in an elevator, Gary, and somebody said, "Hey, I've heard about Truth Rising," and you only had a few floors to go, how would you describe the documentary? I know we're talking about the culture and being strong in our faith and how to give an answer, as Paul wrote, give an answer when asked. But what would you say about the film, what it's about?
First thing I would do is say that we are in a civilizational moment right now in the West, where Western culture maybe dangles a little bit because of all of the turning away from truth, all of the marginalization of truth with a capital T, God's truth. This is the situation that we live in this culture. And if we believe that hopefully it's a long elevator ride. If we believe that our culture can't go the way of the Romans and those cultures that have passed away that fill history books and museums, if we believe that's our culture, it's safe forever without any effort on our part, we're wrong. And what this movie does is offer up several courageous, bold Christians who speak the truth to the culture about what this culture needs, what it's built upon, what truth is, and why it's important to live on it and by it.
It's a great documentary. It's called Truth Rising. Focus and the Colson Center put this thing together, and I don't know how long it took. And I gotta say, I'm a little finicky about when things are documentaries and movies are put out, Christian genre, however you want to label it. But I was very proud of not only the content, but the quality of this documentary. And you would probably join me as well, because you being a connoisseur of all things that need to look good as well as sound good. Otherwise, it's yawn. What is that? But this one, I love the style. And I love those that were picked to be a part of this Truth Rising. We want to get this thing up to 1 million views. I think we can all do that. You can. What's the best way that folks can see this? And it's free. So how cool is that? How can folks see it right now?
Easy way is go to truthrising.com. The film is right there for you to click on. It's on our YouTube channel at Focus. It's also on the Colson Center's YouTube channel. But if you go to truthrising.com, you'll not only be able to see the film there, but you'll be able to look at some of the assets that we have around it, some of the profiles of those courageous voices who are speaking out in the film. Those are the folks who are really the bread and butter of this film, people who are living it out, who are walking the talk in the culture. And Seth Dillon, who you mentioned earlier, is one of the folks that's featured in the film. So is Jack Phillips, right? If you don't know the name Jack Phillips, folks, he's the baker from Colorado who was sued by a gay couple for not making them a wedding cake.
Right.
And Jack is the most, I've met him, he is the most sweet, kind, gentle man. He was not looking to start an ideological war with anybody. He was just trying to run his business. But he also knew in running his business that he could not use his gifts that God gave him to go against God's truth. So he stood up for that. And he ended up in the Supreme Court over a course of years. And he got harassed and death threats. He's featured in the documentary, as well as that triumphant moment when he wins the right to stand by his biblical faith, to live and operate his business by his biblical faith. That moment's captured in the film as well. That's the kind of person, I think, of all the people who are spotlighted in Truth Rising, he's the one that I think most of us can sort of go, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe Seth Dillon, creating a website of Christian humor. Maybe I don't have those skills or those abilities, but everybody has the ability to say, nope, I'm not going to cross this line when it comes to walking, to operating in my business or to working in my job. I'm going to stick by God's principles and God's truth. That's what Jack did. That's what we can all do. And that's what we hope happens when people see the movie, is that they're inspired and equipped for that.
Gary Schneeberger from Focus on the Family. We're talking about, if you've just joined us, Truth Rising, the documentary put together by Focus and the Colson Center. I know this was worked on and just made to look amazing, as I mentioned earlier. At what point did you get to see it? Did you get to see it before it was totally edited and ready for the theater? Or did you have a screening? Did you see it on your computer? And I said all that to say, when you watched it for the first time, what was your first thought? What struck you first in the heart?
Yeah, the first question is yes. I saw it all those ways.
Okay.
Right. I saw it on my computer. I saw snippets of it. I saw interviews from it. So I was struck at all times by, just as you said, it looks beautiful. It's an engaging film because it's done well. I used to work in Hollywood marketing films. This stacks up with any film that I ever worked on in Hollywood, just in terms of its quality of production. But what I thought about is the importance of, there truly are two aspects of this movie that we hope viewers grasp. One is that first aspect about, we're in a civilizational moment. We're in this moment where it's a tipping point for Western culture. You can see it around you. I think we all can feel it, that Christians are being marginalized. It's not easy to walk out your truth, and because the culture is in many cases vehemently against the things that we stand for.
Yeah.
So that's the first third of the movie. The second 2/3 of the movie is all about the people who are, yes, that's true for them, but they're not standing for it. They're still pushing forward. They're mustering the courage and the strength and the wherewithal to go forward and say, nope, I'm going to live by my faith. I'm going to live boldly in the culture by that. And people who see them, not just in Truth Rising, but in their own platforms, people who see them, who understand what they stand for, are being moved to action, right? That's what we want. We don't want people to sit passively, watch the movie, eat their popcorn and go, oh, okay, great. Next, I'm going to go shopping. We want people to see that and feel that little nick in their spirits that say, no, I can do this. I need to do this. It's important for culture. It's important for me to live by God's truth in a way that leaves a mark, a good mark on culture.
Gary Schneeberger, Focus on the Family. Again, real quick, where can they see it?
truthrising.com, truthrising.com, and for the triple, truthrising.com.
Thank you for that. Love it. And hey, we got to have you back and talk about what you're working on, you personally, real quick. I've got seconds, but tell me what you're working on. Of course, you're an author and a speaker. You do it all. So many things you do well. What are you working on?
Right now, wrapping up the films of Burt Reynolds with my writing partner. And here's one I don't know if I've talked to you about. We are doing the Rocky and Creed films coming out next year, which will be the 50th anniversary of the Rocky, the first Rocky being released in 1976.
Hey, seriously, I'd love to have you back, and we'll just talk about that. We'll talk about your stuff. We Focus on the Family stuff is so important, but we also would love to pick your brain and listen to what's going on in your world again. I think we did that last year or the year before a little, but I do want to talk about the Rocky stuff and the Burt Reynolds stuff as well. Good stuff. Gary Schneeberger, Focus on the Family. You can go to the website, and as he mentioned, 3 times, maybe 4, maybe 5, where you can watch the film, and we want you to do it. We want to get those numbers up to 1 million or more, and also we want some movement there, right? Love it. Hey, next week, another great guest on Faith Talk Today. Join us for that. Have a great week. I'm Rick Probst. See you.